Hey everyone, today we're going to work on one of those 1950s Black & Decker drills that I got in the black and yellow Stanley toolbox haul. I don't think it's going to be too difficult to do, but let's take a look at what we've got to work with. Alright, so it is pretty grimy. Chuck is pretty rusty. It doesn't look like it's been oiled or greased in a long time. It unfortunately has no tags. The electrical cord is very stiff, but doesn't appear to be broken. But I'm going to change it out anyway. Maybe the strain relief is good, but I have no idea. We'll see when we take it apart if we can recycle that. So hopefully just basic maintenance. Replace the cord and then clean it up. All right, not too difficult. That's our mission. Let's get busy. All right, you can kind of tell the age of this because it's all flathead screws. So first thing we should do, let's inspect the electrical. Can't say I'm 100% sure how that all comes apart, but we'll start here. Okay, well that was easy. That is apparently how this comes apart. Nothing particularly holds the trigger in place. Alright, so we've got a paper insulator here. Let's look at what we've got inside. Okay, so we got to take the switch out. So far so good, looks pretty easy. Okay, so we've got to take these two screws out for the motor. Wow. So give you a close-up here. It's really interesting. There's almost nothing holding these wires to the switch. Look at this. It's it. Just that little, I don't know if you can see that. Just this little tiny bit of wire was attached to the switch. Not even 1/4 of an inch. I don't think it's supposed to be that way, but I don't know. We've already got an assortment of different screws here. bit more wire on that one. Let's bend these so we know which one's right, which one's left. Oh, look at it. So here's an interesting detail. There's actually, this has been switched out before. Somebody has put shrink tubing on these wires and they didn't shrink it, they just put it on there. Interesting. All right, so here's our switch and wire. Not quite sure what's holding the switch in. Nothing. Okay. Cable is stiff, but it's really not bad. But I think I'm going to change it out anyway. So we've got our ground. Alright. Take care of this old dried up cord. I think we can reuse the strain relief. Yep. Did they didn't have much. Up there. All right, so to get the outer insulation off, probably heard me say this, just go, don't put too much pressure on, because you don't want to cut into the inner insulation. You're going to just watch it go around lightly. Think it's cut through. Mostly. I guess my gloves aren't quite grippy enough to do this. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to take both gloves off because we're just getting the wires ready. This thing in first, and tuck these one through. All right, let's get a small terminal ring for the green wire. Alright, and on your crimpers, I'm using blue, so I'm going to crimp with blue. Good. Okay. is I am wrapping the copper around the contact. Alright. Now I gotta clean these heads off a little bit. I'll be right back. I just want to make it a little bit easier when I polish it, so I'm not worried about a screw head being all dirty. Well, what'd I do with that screw? No, it's still in there. That's all I had to do. Let's back this guy out and clean it as well. Wire brush these, and I'm going to get some contact cleaner for the switch. Alright, I'm going to put some contact cleaner in and around the switch. Alright, let that dry. While that dries, I'm going to wire brush the screw heads, just because it'll save me some time when polishing to look a little nicer. I will be wearing goggles for this. Screw heads are cleaned. So interestingly, what I realized is that this has different screws. Same threads. I'm going to assume that one was lost at some point. So it does not appear to make a difference which side is which. Grabs that. All right, so now we got to do the motor screws, which are somewhat more difficult to get at because we don't have a lot of space there. You've got very little wire here to attach the screw to. That one's a little longer, but see how someone put shrink tubing on those, which is interesting because I do that, but they never shrunk it, which is odd. All right, I'm gonna pause this while I wrestle with this for the next 10 minutes because it's just boring footage. But I'll show you what I've got to do. All right, so these wires are very, very short. I've got to get it to wrap around that screw and then tighten. All right, I'll be back. All right, it's difficult to see in here, but there's my solution for this wire. It's so short. I added a terminal ring to it. Hopefully I have enough room in here still to put this thing together. It was a gamble. That I think I'll be okay. All right, let's fix the tape. This back. Switch. Which way? That, I guess. Yep. All right. Switch. Got our lock. That works. All right, let's give it a test. I'm gonna put my gloves on. All right, so first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna put this switch to off. That in, turn it on, see if anything happens. That's a good sign. Now we're gonna hit it. Woo! That little bit, and I can smell the old motor smell coming out of this thing. All right, so let's look at cleaning the motor. Let's see what's behind these little panels in the side. I guess they're vents. Maybe it was just easier to do it this way than to vent the casting. I don't know. Ah, that's how you oil the bearing, it looks like. No, but that looks like an oiler right there. But it's not. Okay. Well, it'll be a lot easier to clean the motor out and oil the back bearing from here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray some dry lube in there and then we'll oil it. This will kind of clean it, but also lubricate the inside of the motor a bit. It's pretty grimy in there. Look at the front. So this is how we're going to grease it, is in here. Look at that. All right, here's a great example. Look at how dirty the insides of these are. Try some contact. Wow, that was dirty. Both of them like that, yeah. Okay, now we want to make sure when we take this apart that we don't pull the whole motor out. We're only taking the top cap up. There you go, great. Okay. All right, let's get a close-up. Here's our inside. There's our grease. It's not great, but it's not as bad as I would have expected. So we will be changing it out. And to do that, you just, yeah, that's pretty dry. To do that, you just gotta take it out. Yeah, it's coming out pretty chunky in places. But it could be that this grease is 50 years old, I don't know. Could be 70 years old, actually. Looks to me, if I were to guess, that grease has been added at some point to this drill, but that they did not remove the old grease. Because there are different, somewhat different colors, and at the same time there is a different level of dryness or waxiness to it. Like that is very dried up grease. Now you may feel compelled to get every last bit of grease out. I am not the opinion that it matters to that degree. I get most of it out, and then I give it a quick wipe down. Alright, let me get my grease gun and we'll pack it back up. Alright, let's clean these screws up before we put them back in. I'm just going to wire brush them. I'll be right back. While I was at it, I took the opportunity to clean these little shields up. We're not going to tighten them, we're just going to put them in one at a time. Make sure everything's lined up. Now we're snugging them up. And once they're all snug, we can tighten them. All right, let's put some oil on that bearing. So I'm just going to use 30 weight or 20 weight. Since we actually have the rare opportunity to get it from both sides, which is not common. Brush there. Alright, I'm gonna add some more lube. It is really dirty in there. Alright, when that dries, let's put these plates back on. This hole back here certainly looks like it was meant to be an oiler hole, but it's plugged. So I'm not sure. There's something pink in there. I'm not sure what it was supposed to be. weird. I don't know what that was. All right, so we're essentially good to go. I'm gonna wipe it down because it's quite filthy now. And we're gonna move, I'm gonna let it dry out for a little while longer, and then we're gonna move to cosmetics. So I'm gonna take a break for a few minutes, and then I'll be back. There's some of that pink stuff there too. I wonder what that is. Actually read the serial number. I guess that's what that is on it. And someone may have hand carved that. There's a number. I'll be back. All right. Took a good break, cooled off. It's 90 degrees out. So this is fully dry. Let's test it again. Make sure we're good. All right. We're now oiled, we're greased. Let's work on cosmetics. Oh, I believe it plugged in. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna clean the chuck up. And we're gonna use my somewhat patented chuck cleaning process, where I use the wire brush and the drill to clean it. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to use the drill spinning and the wire brush spinning to clean it. Pretty good. This is really a very beat up chuck. You really can't even really read any of the text on it, which is uncommon. Usually I don't see that. Usually you can see it as soon as you clean the rust up. But so our first step in the polishing part is we're going to use steel wool and WD-40. WD-40 is caustic, and therefore very good as a first stage. All right, let's wipe this off. This is just WD-40 on this side, so we'll look at it before and after. And let's see what it did. Certainly it's an improvement, but this has a lot of work to get it to look normal again. All right, so there's our before, and there's our after. Not great, but getting there. Let's do this side, and we'll see what we can get for a shine out of this by polishing it. All right, we're gonna use the polisher. Looks like it got pretty hot in there. My polishing block has melted. I guess I'll go with medium because my red block has melted. Look at that. I don't know why that would be, but we'll go with medium, and then we'll go to fine. Look at that. So let's compare that to that. Really good. Really nice. Oh, this is still dirty. Alright, so let's do a quick open that. Much shinier instantly. All right, that's pretty good. Let me wipe it down. All right, now we're going to use this wheel. I'm going to use the fine, which is the green. Let's see how that works. Looks pretty good. All right, where most people would give up and say, it's good, we're done, I'm gonna actually do one coat of hand polishing with this Chemical Guys light metal polish. Just to see what it will. It's taking some off. It's, as I say with these things, it's a matter of how far you want to take it. Yeah, let's give it a final wipe down. Look at that shine. Wow. All right, look at that. Quite a difference. Oh, there's something we can do because this is one of two that were in that Stanley toolbox. Let me grab the other one and we'll look at the two compared. All right, I usually do it before or after. In this case, we can actually look at the two kind of side by side, since they're, other than this has the larger chuck, The same. Oh, interesting. This is missing the switch lock. Didn't notice that before. Oh, this cord's obviously in worse shape too. Looks like I chose the correct one to restore. Because look at the difference in the finish. It's amazing. All right, that's it. We took a 1950s Black & Decker corded drill and turned it from essentially a relic or scrap into a usable tool. If you found this video engaging, interesting, entertaining, please like and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell. That really helps the channel grow and it helps me. And you know, if you come across one of these, or in my case, I came across 2 of these, and you want to restore it, you've just seen the steps. It's not hard. You can do it. All you have to do is go out, get busy. Take care.